Hey, this is Demetrius Witherspoon, writer, director, producer of Sci-Fi. Join me as I dive deep into the world of sci-fi, films, comics, mental health, and fascinating conversation with amazing individuals. Be ready to get submerged.
What's up, people? This is Demetrius Witherspoon, writer and creator of the Submerged universe. I hope I am recording. Yes, the recording sign is on. It's always a thing when you're recording video and you want to make sure that the red light is on and things are happening. But anyway, let's get back to it. Let's get submerged in sci-fi. I am Demetrius Witherspoon, writer and director of the Sci-Fi award-winning series Submerged universe. So it has 5 films in it so far, 5 episodes, and we have an animated pilot, which is on YouTube also, and it's on Amazon Prime and Roku. Some of the films are, and then we also have our own streaming service, Submerged Universe TV, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But these 5 films is about a lady that gets experimented on with this super soldier program, and she gets thrown into a multi-universe, and she has to find her way out and fight for her child. And so this has been over a little bit over a decade of filming, creating. We have comics, we have games, we have a novel based off of my screenplay, coloring books, action figures. Okay, I was cleaning out my room, getting this ready, cleaning out this side of the studio, and I thought I sold all my pops, but hey, here we are. So action figures, pops, statues, and this thing is still going. So with those 5 films, we've put them into film festivals. They've shown in New York, Times Square. We've been able to present them to different studios and things like that. So it's a continuous growing effort. And it all started kind of like this podcast, just with determination and just that mindset of I'm going to get this and I want to give back in this way. And so that is how I started with Submerged Universe. And I didn't go to school or anything for it. What I did, I watched YouTube, learned how to use a camera, and got together my family and my friends, and we went out and we started shooting a sci-fi film. I learned visual effects by watching YouTube and failing and doing the best we can, and each time just trying to go up to the next level until I started working with at least 5 different visual effects people. And we were able to, I started surrounding myself with people that know more than me. And so that's why I'm doing this podcast, is because I've learned a lot over the years, but also I'm still learning. And it's not going to just be me on here. There is going to be different people we're going to be bringing in. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. But I just wanted to tell you about me. I'm from a small town in Kentucky called Bardstown, Kentucky. And I was just down there and got to see their big old sign that they are the bourbon capital of the world now. So that's very interesting. But that's where I grew up, born in Louisville, Kentucky, but then in the 80s, like probably 79, 80, we moved to Bardstown, Kentucky, me and my family, my mom and dad and everything. So that's why I like giving and doing these podcasts. I've been on a ton of podcasts, and if you go to Spotify and you look up Demetrius Witherspoon uh, uh, podcasts, I think I put it under Demetrius Witherspoon um, Submerged Universe podcast. Those are all the different podcasts that I've been on. If they're on Spotify, I made a playlist so you can listen to those also. But I wanted to do my podcast and tell this origin story of how it came along, because in 2021, we were still kind of dealing with the pandemic. We're still kind of dealing with that. COVID hasn't gone anywhere. But in 2021, we were coming out of it just a little bit. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get me my podcast going because everybody else is getting theirs. And I was just like, man, I think that's going to be a lot of work for me, because I was doing so many conventions and things like that back to back, and panels and film festivals. So I finally slowed it down a little bit and said, okay, how can I do this? And so what we're going to do, it's going to be 6 episodes that are going to be out. So, and we're doing it once a month. So most definitely for the next 6 months, there's going to be episodes, seven months, something like that. But six, most definitely once a month, first, first week in that month, episode will come out. But in between there will be special episodes, because my life is always changing and moving forward, and there are special things that are always happening that I want to share with you guys and all that support me. And so some of those episodes will come out between those times, and I'll put out I'll put something out to kind of let everybody know that I'm doing that. um and so that could be interviews with people that's working for you know uh different studios in Hollywood, and that's about the only time I can get to them, on these certain days. So um and I do have some people that are gonna be coming on board, and they're excited to come on board to be on the podcast, and talk about their journey, being at these different large Hollywood studios. And so I can't wait to share those with you. My goals for this podcast is to inspire people, because when I started, there was just me, and I didn't know anything about filmmaking pages and things like that on Facebook or groups or Stage 32 platforms. I just knew that I wanted to make sci-fi film, and I knew that it will take time. I will learn, keep learning each time, but that's what I wanted to do. And it wasn't until I got further along that I was able to uh, build it, and again surround myself with people that knew more than me. And when you're moving, that's people want to see that you're progressing, and that you're moving, and you're not just got your hand out to do things, and you're not making an effort on your uh, for yourself to get things done. So movement is life. When you're a filmmaker or a content creator, you got to do it. Nobody else is going to have your passion just like you. They'll come close, some people, but you are the driving force in whatever path that you're taking. So I again wanted to educate people not only with what I've learned over the years and continue to learn each time I do a film set, and it's not just sci-fi. I do commercials. I've shot other people's films. I've been on sets of other sci-fi films, other than Submerged universe, and that's where I learned. You learn from those sets. Um, we went to Muscatatuck Army Training Base, which is amazing. It's a filmmaker's dream. Not only do they train their, army or military, but also rescue units and things like that. Um, and also, they have a program where you can go in and film. So that opened my eyes to a whole bunch of things, and really helped with the world building as you go forward. So yeah, it's not just things that I've done, but it's working on other people's sets and learning uh, what to do and what not to do. And as an independent filmmaker, you are hustling and moving. Okay, this is not for the faint of heart. If you think this is all what's the words, just stars and red carpets, there is a whole lot more work that goes into making good sci-fi, but working on a set. And as a filmmaker or a director, it's kind of like management. You are managing your cast and the crew and everything. And um, but it's a collaborative effort. You're not like the best crews and sets are when you're collaborating with everybody, because a true director, not even the best ones. I watch a lot of direct roundtables of directors, and I love that because you get to see that they are dealing with some of the problems that we as independent filmmakers deal with, and they have millions of dollars that they're dealing with, but they're helping show how they accomplished that, even though they had maybe the money to throw at it, how they dealt with it. And so, on our level as independent filmmakers, if you're getting started or you've been doing it for a while, uh, you kind of learn after a while how to deal with people, how to, um, like I said, it's a collaborative effort. It's not that you're lording over somebody, because that's not the kind of set you want to be on. But when it's collaborative, you become a family, you become close knit, and that's how you build your crews as you go along. You're bringing people with you, especially when you treat them as good as gold. That's so important. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. I know I'm ready to get deep. We're getting deep into the weeds here of sci-fi filmmaking, and everything else that goes along with that. Like I said, education, or being educated on what I've found has helped me over the years, and other filmmakers. And then also talking about health. Talked about mental health, our wellness, how we're taking care of ourselves, because as creative and filmmakers, um, we're moving, we're doing a lot of things, and sometimes if you're on set, you're so adrenaline is so high, you're because you're getting questions at you, and people are in costumes, and all these moving parts are happening. Your adrenaline is so high, so your health is so important during filmmaking, meaning that you're eating, that you're getting um, fluids in you, um, and especially when you have a good assistant helping you uh, along, they're gonna, if they're really good, they're gonna make sure you're eating, you're taking care of yourself, you're taking a break if you can. Um, because all those things are important because you're in it. Those are some long days. You can be on the set to, for sometimes 13 or 14 hours uh, days. And so, and multiple days, depending on how long you're shooting for. Um, because I learned it's hard doing things on the weekends. Um, you know it's like trying to get everybody rolled back in, and it really takes a dedicated team to try to do it over multiple weekends. So if you can get those block of times, that's why Hollywood and stuff, they go for, well, that's their job, they don't do anything else really. When it's time to lock in, they might be for a month or so, or a year, or 2 years. Lord of the Rings, is a dedication. So I started to try to uh, get a good block of time so we can knock things out, because it's kind of hard to reel everybody back in. Most definitely keeping everything um, um, coherent, and also I then lost the word. Sorry, but you know what I mean. Like making sure everything, if you went a week later and somebody didn't cut their hair, but their hair was another way when you filmed last week. See, yeah, there's the problem. So, so there's all different things like that that you have to think about. Um, and I'm gonna remember that word. Sorry, this is this part of what I do. There's so much running through my head that uh, sometimes I forget where I was. So we're going to work on that. But this is always good. So health is very important. Dealing with the stress on set, because it is stressful, but you're having a good time if you got a good set and you got everything planned out, and you're not working with people that are very negative. Working on set can be fun. Um, as a director, you're thinking of lighting, you're thinking about the cast, and all the different other things that has to happen for that day. But when you have the right assistant director and assistants helping out, that kind of takes the pressure off. I know Mary Carlton is my project manager for DV Entertainment Pictures, and she really helped out on the sets and things like that. And even my wife, Delisa, really helped out too. So you need those assistants because that kind of helps take the pressure off. And we're going to get a little bit deeper into that, about dealing with different stresses and things like that. Um, how you treat people on set, treat people the way you want to be treated, and just remember, they're bringing something to the table to help support your vision. Okay, and so um, you wouldn't want to be treated badly by somebody, um, and so that's the way I work it on my set. And so we'll dive a little bit deeper into that. And so, and also with this podcast, I want to bring you on the other side of creating sci-fi IPs. When you're dealing with transmedia, of let's see, I think I gotta, yeah. When you're dealing with transmedia, that's when you have your films, but also you're expanding your story world, where you have entry points where people can come in, but it's again part of your story. It's not trans marketing. It is really expanding your story out, your story world. So we have a card game that really expands the story world of Submerged universe. There's new characters, there's a new mission, um, and so uh, a lot of that is part of the Submerged universe world building. Then we got the novelization. We had a novel done by John F. Allen. He wrote that off of my script. So my movie came first. And from that, we was going to expand the universe even more with Submerge Echo 51, which is on Amazon Prime now, or Amazon, the novelization. And so, and on our website. So it expands that universe. And then we got so we got the card game, we got animation, we have our action figures, uh, we have limited edition Funko Pops, coloring books. Um, Now we have the podcast, and that leads me into the next thing I want to talk about with this podcast. And not only we're going behind the scenes on and talking to other filmmakers too about how they build their sci-fi IP, but also we'll be talking about um, well, the making of these films and the sound, the scoring of these films, and how important that is. And I can't wait to share that with you. But so that's what we're going to kind of be going with, and also how to deal with. Um, Going to comic cons and things like that. That's another aspect of dealing with the sci-fi world and fantasy. That's why some of the interviews that we're going to have are with um, sci-fi fantasy um, owners of comic cons, because I think that's important of how they work, and what brings people into this, what really get in the mindset of what why are they so popular, and what is the best way they've learned um, to uh, supply these uh, beautiful things to their guests, their attendees, because they have uh, there's so many different comic cons and also film festivals. So combination of the two, and so so we're going to have interviews with those owners, also owners of sci-fi film festivals, just film festivals. Those are so important, not only just to show your film, but to network and all the people that you can meet from film festivals. So it's so important to go to film festivals. Another thing we're going to be talking about throughout these different podcasts is life on set, before and after. How you go from an idea in your head and then writing the script, and then from writing the script to um, starting to do auditions. And the day when you start getting people from Netflix movies and things like that who wants to be on your film, when those days start happening, you're like, what is going on? My little engine that could, somebody wants to be part of that. And so I used to think that was impossible when people would talk about different actors that's on different TV shows, and yeah, I think we can do this, and or we can pay this and get them on. I was just like, are they just talking stuff or what? And then, some may, but I've learned that actors want to act. And if you got a good script and um, they see the potential in what you're doing, you can get some name actors in your project. And so I've had the privilege of working with Katie O'Brien from Star Wars Mandalorian season 2 and 3. And she's played in Walking Dead. Uh, and man, Marvel, a bunch of different Marvel shows, and even Ant-Man 3 she was in. And then also Bishop Stevens has been a bunch of Chicago PD, and also Walking Dead, and some Netflix movies. So, and he's working on a new movie right now. So, and then all my actors, majority of them, are continuously working on their craft, and they're in movies and TV shows right now also. So, um, you know, bringing you those kind of people and their talents is so important. So, um, I just want to say again, thank you again for tuning in. This is the Get Submerged Sci-Fi podcast, where we will be talking about films, comics, and what really goes on behind set or on sets that are working on sci-fi and fantasy films. And so I can't wait to talk about that, and we'll be growing as we go along. And that's why I'm doing this. This will be one place that you can come get this kind of information. We have a blast. And I want to say, if you haven't already, please subscribe, share this with your friends, because we can only do this or keep going with your help and your support. That's the only way. And so, thank you so much. If you're just listening in, or you're listening in on the podcast, this is going to be on Spotify and different platforms that support a podcast. And I've done YouTube videos and things like that in the past, but this is the official Get Submerged Sci-Fi podcast, where again, we're not only talking about Submerge, my sci-fi series, but also sci-fi series that in the past, now, some of the cast members that we've had, not only in my film, but also that I've been able to meet through Comic Cons. And that's the other thing. I look forward to going to some Comic Cons, bringing the podcast there, and also interviewing different actors from different sci-fi genres and movies and things like that. So I can't wait to bring that to you. So I'm going to be continuously growing, learning how to get better. And so this is my first one. So, I mean, I've done YouTube videos, interviews with cast and stuff, but this is my official Get Submerged podcast. And I can't wait to share even more. So let me see. I'm going to make sure I check my list here. and make sure I got everything I wanted to talk about. I'm just keeping it real. This is a process setting up because I had to come back into my new area. Um, well, with the pandemic and everything like that, I did have my studio, but we had to change some things around, and so I'm back into the other part of the studio. So uh, had to get things kind of set back up. So lighting, making sure everything looks right. So that's a process, and then trying to make sure that everyone is hearing me okay, and also that the video is working and recording. Um, but yeah, you can go online and check out our films on Submerged Universe TV. I'll be talking about that sometime too, to kind of go into well, a little more about streaming, how that works as an independent filmmaker, um, and that I have my own streaming service. So not only do am I on Amazon Prime, Tubi, Apple TV with some of my sci-fi films, but also I have my own streaming service where you can get all 5 films. The animated pilot is on there for free, so you can check out. And we will, as we're making more Submerged Universe episodes, those will be uploaded to Submerged Universe TV. So find that, and you can support that way. I haven't set up the monthly deal yet, but we're going to do that. But right now, you can either rent it or buy it. So when you buy it, you get all those films plus all the extras and everything. And when you rent it, you're able to watch it for 3 days. You have it for 3 days, so you can binge watch it and check out where it started and where we are now. So there's more coming with Submerged Universe. Um, Working on um, like it's going to be a kind of, well, a portrait book is what we're working on, and then also a Submerged Universe guidebook. Those are the words I'm looking for. Submerged Universe guidebook that's really going to go in detail of the characters um, and the ships and the worlds and the planets and things like that of the Submerged Universe, and those are going to be handy. And I know some of the fans have been asking about that. We also are always working on an animated series for Submerge. And The Figure is the animated series. And a while back, I put it out for we were going to do a comic and the series, but I had to pull it back in a little bit because we was in talks with some Hollywood studios, um, and so we're still working on those things. I say we, it's me. When I say we, it's me because I am writing and getting these pitch decks and all these different things together, and I'm learning as I go. And so we'll probably talk about that, how to pitch things, and have somebody come on and talk about that. So that's a whole nother deal too. So, but still working on an animated series because, in the sense that there are so many animation companies out there, and all it takes is the right collaboration with someone and that sees your vision and bringing it to life. and you think it's impossible, but with today's technology, and I'm going to include AI with that. That is a tool that's even getting stronger and better each day. Um, so with the internet and being able to collaborate with people all over the world, I've talked and worked with people over in Dubai, the Philippines, Venezuela. Um, just working on our characters and then um starting to work on some animation. So so yeah, there's going to be a lot more of that coming. All right, did I forget anything else? I just want to say again that I appreciate you tuning in, and follow me again. We're gonna um do an episode every 6 months, but I'm going to be coming in with some special episodes, because sometimes I might be at a convention where I really want to be talking to some actors from different um, sci-fi uh, films. It could be like when I got to have dinner with the original Battlestar Galactica crew. We had Richard Hatch and um, all you know, the main crew from the 70s and 80s of Battlestar Galactica. When he came up and asked me, "You want to go out to dinner with us?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do that." So I learned so much. And so it's truly amazing when you find actors that you've seen on TV and you grew up with, and they're just totally down to earth, especially when you don't act like a, you know what? I don't use foul language. So when um, and there are some actors you gotta really think about it, uh, they're under a lot of pressure and things like that, and sometimes they're not the nicest people in the world. Uh, I'm just going to be real on that, but I find more down to earth actors, ones that you never thought would be that way, uh, are because they appreciate the fans that has helped their career, and giving back is so key to them. And so, um, yeah, I can't wait to share those experiences with others. And they're just you just learn so much. I'm like a sponge when I'm around other actors that has been on, Star Trek and different things like that. I don't want to autograph. I just want to talk and hear your experience on that set, because that helps me and it helps inspire me. And um so that's what I like about that. And we're going to be bringing some actors that are working on different shows now and in the past. So that's going to happen. So So what's coming up in the next 6 months? Again, we got episodes that are going to be dealing with health. That's going to be dealing with the before and after uh, effects and things you got to do for films. Also, comics. We're going to reach into that because that's a whole nother genre. Let me just say, as a filmmaker, and as I do transmedia and build these story worlds out, I have to learn. Yeah, I enjoy reading comics, but then when you have to make your own and build that story world and build that character and finding out what makes that successful, and some things are not going to happen overnight. Matter of fact, let's keep it real. A lot of things don't happen overnight. You have to be in it, grinding for a good while before you get big, big success. Okay. Important thing as you are doing the journey, most definitely enjoying the journey. Every little win that you get, enjoy it. Be inside that moment. I might not ever get a Oscar, okay? Or, you know, a big award, but I've gotten bigger awards than that. And that is from the people that are following, that are enjoying my art and what we've put together. Um, that is some of the biggest joy and some of the biggest success. When you've inspired a little kid that thought he couldn't be able to do what you do, and you're able to show him how he can and not to be afraid to do it, that is success to me. The money and awards and all that's going to come. Believe me, when I started, there were no awards. There's probably years before I started getting awards for Submerge. I just kept going because I wanted to tell a story, and I wanted to get better at what I do, but I wanted to tell this story, and I knew where my story was going to begin and where it was going to end. And that's what I was working toward. Then everything started to come afterwards. So enjoy the journey, enjoy, determine, you determine what your success is. And your success is not going to be what other people's success is. I mean, it's just be real about that. They might be getting more money than you. They might have got this certain actor that's in bigger films than you, but that doesn't diminish your success. So you got to have the right mindset. If you go into it for money, you're going to be hurting. What I've found, if you go into this to be a filmmaker in this industry for money, you're going to be stressed. You're going to be not happy because this industry is hard and it's not for the faint of heart. And with this dynamic of streaming and everything changing, you have to find your way in that to make money. And so sometimes it might come, you might get a deal. You might go to the film market and put your films in there and things like that. Those things do happen. But there's also independent film ways of, as a filmmaker, to um, do your craft, enjoy, but also make money. And that's why you also, with transmedia, build outside of that. You're not only expanding your world, you are helping fund your other films and what's coming next. That money's not going in my pocket. If I'm selling books and things like that, that is helping me get to the next convention with more product. And it's all going to come together. So determine what your success is. Just remember that. Determine what your success is. And the money, the awards, all of that is going to come. It's going to come. But just stay focused, enjoy the process, learn from so many people. And remember that filmmaking is a collaborative effort. Comic book writing, and unless you're drawing it yourself and you're doing the words and you're doing the coloring and all of that, you still got to have it printed. unless you're going to print them yourself, but it is a collaborative effort. Your printer to the writer, the letterer of your comic. Um, and so it's a collaborative effort. So you got to keep that in mind. And um, that's what I try to do. So we're going to be talking about that even more so as we go along. So I hope you're enjoying this podcast. There's so much to over a decade worth of information. There's so much you could talk about, and there's so many good podcasts out there. And I want to tip my hat to everyone out there that kind of make podcasting look easy, or doing these videos and make them look easy. But it's anything you really put your mind to, you can do, and being consistent at it, you're only going to get better. You're only going to get better. So, um, also we're going to talk about safety on set. I want to hit some of those points because doing fight scenes and everything. See, that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother thing. Again, what you see, it's smoke and mirrors, but sometimes accidents happen very quickly. People's nose get bloodied, or uh, you know, things happen on set. And first of all, safety is very important. And fight scenes, if you can practice those out very safely, and most definitely if you can have somebody that's trained and understands Hollywood or theater fight scenes, that is very important. Okay, because you don't want your actors or anyone on your set to get hurt. You don't want that. And insurance is very important too. I do have insurance on my sets. And so, because things happen. One time we're filming out in the park, and the day was just a sunny day. Everything was good, and a a blast of wind come up from somewhere, took the tent where we had the catering, all the food and everything, took the tent up and flew it into somebody's BMW. One of the crew, that was his dad's BMW, scratched it. It's like, what in the world? So, insurance is important. We'll probably get into that too. Yeah, I got so many stories and things like that that I've learned along this journey. So, I just want to say thank you for following me. Thank you for if you just came on. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for getting submerged in sci-fi with me, Demetrius Witherspoon. Until next time, peace.